Recording.
There it is. Okay.
Hey, gang.
It's recording.
Hey.
So today I'm gonna talk about like how to work when life just smacks you in the face. And there's a few of like examples that I have that I'm gonna talk about, but can you guys drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like life just ever hits you and you really just like you push the business aside kind of? Okay, so a few of the examples that I've heard or that excuses I've said myself is the first one is fighting with your significant other. So one thing you need to remember, like when this happens, is you need to give yourself grace. If you're not in the right headspace to talk to people, I probably wouldn't be talking to people. Because that's going to come off, your attitude is going to come off onto other people, and like people are just going to see it and they're not going to want to talk to you. Or so don't talk to people if you're in a bad mood. Wait until you get in a better mood, until you do some personal development, until you take some time for yourself, whatever you need to do to get in that better mood, just wait until you are. So the main thing is give yourself grace. The next thing is like do something that makes you feel happy. If you and your significant other are fighting, it happens. So take some time for yourself to make yourself happy and do what you want, whether that's go take a nap. I know Brooke likes to watch The Bachelor. So maybe that's something she would do. You just have to find something that you like to like be able to ground yourself again. And then rest. Like if you need rest. But I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like you still need to work, but if you don't get everything done, that's when like the giving yourself grace part comes in. Because yeah, we all want to get our work done every single day, but if we're just having a tough day and we can only do like what our brain can handle, that's all that we can do. You can't force yourself to do more, because then you're going to go through a burnout stage and it's not going to be fun. You're not going to enjoy the business anymore. So another one is your kids are just stressing you out. Like it's been a day, they're clingy, they need everything, all the things. So again, give yourself grace. You can't control if you can't control if your kid is having a bad day. Like,
what's wrong with you? It's funny. This is hard.
Like kids have bad days. You can't control that. So, again, make them do something like by themselves where you don't where you can watch them, but you can still take time for yourself, especially if you're like home alone. If you're not home alone, then you can have the person that's home with you watch your kids, so you can at least get 5 minutes of air by yourself, not listening to a kid scream, none of that. And then just work your business when you can. If your kid's being super clingy that day, give your kid the attention, because you joined this business to be able to spend time with your family, to be able to have that freedom. So give your kid attention. If your kid goes and takes a nap, do your work then. If you have to do it later that night, do it then. But you also have to remember to give yourself grace on days like these. Like I said, because you can't control a kid and your main priority is your kid. So take care of your kid first and then do your business. Another one is I'm busy doing something else. Something else has my attention, so I just pushed my business to the side. Okay. All right, my laptop's about to die. If that is your mindset, how much does this business really mean to you? Because like I said, we joined this business to have the freedom, to have the money, to be able to spend the time to do the things we want to do. So if you're already doing the business, if you're doing the things you want to do and putting your business on the back burner, why did you join? You have to realize that if you continue to work your business and do all the things that you need to do, eventually one day that won't be a struggle. You'll be able to fit it all in together. But that's where discipline comes in. Like, you have to be disciplined in all your work, and I'm about to talk about that. And it gets easier as you go. Like, when I first joined this business, I felt like I was on my phone all the time. And my husband literally was like, bro, the phone, like, just get off of it. And I was like, okay, I know I'm doing it wrong then. And so I stopped. Like, every time my phone would go off when I first joined the business, I would hop on my phone and immediately see what the message was or the notification was. I don't do that anymore. I let them pile up because I realized how much this business does mean to me, but I also realized that my family means more. And so I don't want to take away from family time in order to work this business, because that's just not serving the purpose that I joined the business for. You have to know what this business is worth and what you are worth in this business, because each and every one of you are here for a reason, and you're showing up for your business tonight. So I know you want to be here. You just literally have to put in the work. And with that, like, if you're busy doing something else, that's fine. But I just want you to remember that people want this business. People want these products. People are literally waiting for you to post about this business or about these products. They've been watching you for so long. And on this certain day, if you post, it's a sign that they need to sign, like that they need to sign up. I went through it. Like, I watched Brooke for a very long time, and then another girl for a very long time, and then still left Brooke on red multiple times. And then one day she posted, and she messaged me the same day, and I was like, okay, yeah, finally saying yes. And that's all it was, because she posted and messaged me that day. Had she not messaged me that day, I would probably not be here, because she's the only backstory. I've wanted to do It Works my entire life, but she's the only person on my timeline that I had that did It Works. So if she wouldn't have messaged me that day, I would not be here. And so you have to remember that if you're just pushing this business aside, you're actually doing a disservice. I know, like, when you join the business, you join it for you join it because you want these things, you want to be able to come home, you want to leave your job, you want more freedom, all these things that you want. But eventually it comes a time where you're working with your team, where you're helping your team also get the things they want, and then helping people who never even started start and change their life. And so if you don't post because you're busy doing something else, or if you don't message because you're busy doing something else, you're not helping anybody, and you're not helping yourself either. And so with that comes, like, not being motivated. It's not motivation, because you joined this business probably because you were motivated to change your life. And so if you're not feeling motivated, it's probably not because you don't still want to change your life. It's probably because you haven't set the boundaries and the discipline that you need in order to do the things you want to do. This business is designed to get a great amount of work done in such a minimal amount of time that you don't have to be on your phone all day. So if you're not feeling motivated, what I do, because I go through those, like, where my discipline just sucks, and, like, I don't do my skincare, which is really important to me. I get lazy with, like, messaging, very consistent with posting. Can't say I'm not, but I get lazy with messaging. I get lazy with my stories. And that's because I let my discipline slack, because I stopped doing it for a day. And so then I was like, is it really important? Yeah, it's really important, because I'm not in my business where I wanted to be, because 3 months ago, I started to slack off and not feel motivated. Your work is always 3 months behind. Now, I'm not saying I didn't show up, because I did. I've never once not showed up. But I wasn't as intentional 3 months ago as I am now with my work. I get up in the mornings every morning and I do some sort of personal development, whether that's depending on Xavier, because he does not have a set time he wakes up. It could be anywhere from 4:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning. So it's like a crazy time span that I never know. I just kind of have to judge on how late I went to bed that night. And so in the mornings, I've been waking up, doing some sort of personal development, and whether that's, reading my personal development book, listening to a podcast, which comes in handy, or just journaling. I do something to ground myself. And actually what I've been doing is waking up and writing my affirmations and gratitudes down first thing in the morning. And then if I have time to journal or do the other things, then I will. And if I don't in the morning, then I do when Xavier sleeps, because that's very important to me. Like when I'm at work, I work 2 days a week. The only thing I listen to are personal development podcasts. And that's honestly where I get a lot of it done, because that's 14 hours straight of podcasts, personal development podcasts. And so you have to find what works for you. If you're not a morning person, cool. Brooke, she's insane and she likes to wake up at 4 a.m. Grace, if she woke up at 4 a.m., nobody would want to talk to her, okay? She doesn't even want to talk to herself at 4 a.m. Okay, like it's bad. And then there's other people that work in the night. That's fine. Hannah Reeves works in the night. Look how freaking successful she is. You can't base your schedule on what other people's schedule looks like, because everybody has a different life. So you have to figure out what works for you, but you have to be really intentional about finding out what works for you.
It's so hard to not come over here and try to embarrass you in front of your Zoom.
Oh, you can't embarrass me.
Just a little bit.
So he did make me lose train of thought. Oh yeah, okay. So what I do when I go through those really rough spots is I set time blocks, like kind of how we do on Power Hour, where you have like a certain amount of time to finish that task. And if you don't finish it, cool, whatever, do it later. That's what I do. I am not a person that can sit there and add to my network for 10 minutes straight. Okay. I add to my network a lot. Like today, after I got done adding to my network, like literally 10 minutes later, I went back and like 20 people had already accepted my friend request, because I add that many people. But I don't do it all in one setting, because I just, it's boring to me. I don't like it. So I split it up in very small sections throughout the day. Like literally, I can't give you a time, but I'll just go to where I add from friends, and I'll just add them until I get bored. Then I'll stop. And then 2 hours later, when I get back on my phone, I'll go add some more. And then I'll go respond to messages, and then I'll go send out messages. I have a about to be 15-month-old. I could not sit there for 3 hours a day, because that's all it takes me to get my work done is 3 hours, like as much as I want to do, and like need to where I'm at in my business and where I want to go. I cannot just sit there for that amount of time and just work and work and work. I will get so distracted, and I will start scrolling, and I will start watching videos, like random hack videos, or like the people making the pool videos, like just random stuff. So I cannot sit there and just be on social media for that amount of time and actually work. Like it doesn't work for me. And if it works for you, kudos. Give me some tips. Um, and so with your personal development and doing all the things, finding your schedule, like you have to work through it. If like that doesn't work for you, you have to find something else that works. Like, and don't, please hear me on this. Do not change everything at once. That is not going to work. Okay. You like because there's things of your schedule that you're doing right now that's working. So if you change those, then it's just going to fall apart. You have to like start slow. And like if you really don't feel like this is working, then change that one thing. Do not change your whole process just because you're not where you want to be. Start small, look at the bigger picture, and see where you want to go. And so with that not being motivated, you really need to like be yourself. Get on your stories and be like, look, y'all, today is just a freaking day. I don't want to do anything. I bet you so many people relate to you. Because a lot of people in this world is not motivated, okay? So I guarantee, one, that will get you interaction, that will get you building relationships, and that will get people seeing that you're not, that you're an actual person, that you're not just happy-go-lucky all the time and like this is my joyful life. And because we all know social media is a highlight, okay? Like people want to see the bad stuff too. People want to have stuff to relate to, but that doesn't mean air your dirty laundry out. I have poor mental health that I'm working on. And I bet if you go to my stories and my Facebook page, you might see like hints or whatever, but you're not going to get a whole spiel of like why I just feel like my whole day is falling apart, because that's going to turn people away from you. That's like, you're not going to attract the people you want to. You're going to attract really negative people. So like, yes, be yourself, be vulnerable, like talk about your problems, but you don't have to go into detail. They don't need to know every detail. They don't need to know every problem.
What are you doing?
They don't need to know like every day your you and your spouse are fighting. They don't need to know like your personal problems. All you have to say is, look, y'all, I'm freaking struggling. Can I get some help? I don't know how many times I've went to my stories like, I do not know what to do. Somebody help me. Normally it's like mom stuff, but there's been other days where I'm like, y'all, like I'm just in such a funk. Can you guys leave some inspirational quotes? Can you guys tell me what cheers you up? Like, just give me all the happy feels. Like send happy pictures, like all the things, and make it interactive, and build those relationships, because that's really what, okay. That's the relationships is really what you need, because I have friends here. One of them is on this Zoom. And I talk to my friends. I don't have very many of them, but I do have a few of them. But the girls that I have met in this business and because of this business are girls that I turn to with my problems probably more than my friends here. Just because, you know, like it's, you just build such a relationship talking to people every day. Like Brooke is literally one of my best friends now. I talk to her every single day. When I'm like telling my family something that Brooke said, I'm like, oh yeah, Brooke, the girl that I enrolled under, they're like, I know who Brooke is. She's like literally your best friend. Like you, like, so that's, you want to build relationships, because honestly, the relationships that I've built like over the internet have been some of the best relationships I've ever had in my life.
Also, I gotta creep in again, because you see, I just creep. But I would listen to these Zooms sometimes, and one of the Zooms things that they were saying in here, it smoked to me. I was like, dang. So don't let anybody tell you can't do this business, because there's people doing the business. And the one thing that I heard from the Zoom, I forgot who said it, is like, people don't buy the product, they buy the person. So, you know, she gets on her story, she's enthusiastic, she does it. She can't tell her can't, she sees you guys doing it, and she does it. So I mean, one to trip and everything. I was a hater. She made me a believer. That's
He
all.
was. I was like, just let me do it. But can you tell how much I talk about this business and how much he's around on Zooms? So like whenever life just smacks you in the face, like you don't even know what the heck's going on, like your kids are being good, you and your significant other are not fighting, you're not busy elsewhere, you just like, you have the motivation, you just, meh, I don't want to do anything, meh. Me all the time. So what can you do? Are you just gonna push your business to the back burner and let the meh control your life? Because if you let the meh control your life, you're gonna be really down. And this comes, I don't know if you guys were on the most of you guys were on the content planning Zoom, but and this goes back to like what Rachel was saying. I just lost my train of thought. Wow. Okay, we'll come back to that. So if you're like, it's gone, completely gone. So if you're just feeling down, I highly recommend personal development. I highly recommend grounding yourself, whatever that looks for you. Whether you're religious and you pray, whether you're not religious and you just take quiet time and meditate and just be with yourself. You have to ground yourself when you're not feeling good, when you're feeling down. Because if you don't ground yourself, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. That's going to come off when you talk to people. Like they're going to hear your downness. That's not a word that that's not the word I'm looking for, but that's the word I'm going to use. They hear that, or they read that in your messages. If you voice text them, they hear that in your voice. If you get on your story when you're feeling like that and talking like that, they see that, which is okay, but you don't want to, you want to show them that side of you, but that's not the only side of you you want to show, because there is more to you, whether you believe it or not. So what can you actually do? Personal development. I am reading a book. It's called It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. Wonderful. I also just got a book called How to Sweat the Small Things. And like I said, I listen to so many podcasts. I actually just found another one. Hold on, I'll look it up for y'all. Didn't write her down. The Pam Souter Show. A little Southern, so if you can't deal with Southern accents, because hers is very thick, I don't recommend listening to her, but I love her. I also love Ashley Mayfield, like she is my jam. And I also listen to the Cami Pentecost podcast and the Craig Rochelle Leadership podcast. And those have literally changed my life. I literally listened to every single Ashley Mayfield podcast in like 2 weekends. Like just whenever I get the chance, I'm listening to personal development music or podcasts or gospel music. So you need to find the personal development that works for you. And like I said, that's going to look different for everybody. So give yourself grace when you're having just those down days and you don't feel like doing anything, like you want to do it, but your body's just like, I could probably just stay in bed all day. A really good tip for that is making yourself get out of bed and take a shower. And because like showers just, I don't know, they wake you up, and it's not necessarily that you feel good enough to take a shower or you want to tackle the day or anything like that. It just literally gives you that push to get out of bed. You have to find what makes you happy. That's what I was talking about earlier. You have to find what makes you happy. If you don't know what makes you happy, I guarantee it's showing. And deep, like Rachel was saying that like it's hard to know like everything that makes you happy, which it is. I can't list everything that makes you happy, but deep down a few things that make you happy, whether that's playing with your kids, whether that's taking a bath, taking a walk, just enjoying outside. One or two things that make you happy. So if you're just feeling so down, you don't even want to get out of bed, go do one of those things that make you happy. And then make it fun. If you're not having fun in this business, you're doing it wrong. Okay. Like today, while I was at work, I literally made so many pictures for the heck of it. Just because I wanted to, because I wanted to make my own stuff again. I was tired of using the pre-made one, so I went and made my own. And that was my little way of making it fun today. Maybe your way of making it fun is having jokes on your page, or just getting hype on your stories. Like getting hype on my stories, even if I'm feeling down, getting hype on my stories hypes me up. And so give yourself grace. If you really don't feel like you can hype up your stories, then don't. Still post on your stories, but you don't have to hype them up. If you really are not excited, do not get on your phone and get on your story and act like you're excited, because it is going to show. So you have to give yourself grace. Like if you didn't get any work done that morning, cool. Take some time, get your work done later that evening. You still have to get your work done as much as you can, but you also have to give yourself grace. There was something, it was like what you don't do in 3 days. Do you know what I'm talking about, Brooke? It's something, yeah, I don't know. It's something about like, not working for 3 days while somebody else is, they're going to be farther, and then you're going to be like upset. It's something along those lines. And you're going to be like comparing yourself or whatever, but you also have to remember that they were working and you weren't. They were disciplined and you weren't. They cared about their business and you pushed it aside. So, the last one that I want to talk about is when you are sick, because this is a huge one. Brooke is sick right now. How many of y'all knew? Not very many, because she still showed up like she wasn't sick. She might talk about being sick, but she's still showing up. She's giving herself grace for the work that she's not able to accomplish because she doesn't feel good, but she's still showing up and getting as much as she can done. We all get sick, but this goes back to, what if you would have posted that day and they were waiting on you to post? That's what it goes back to. You're following a disservice, because what if they really wanted to try the business, or what if they really wanted to try the products? Oh, I'm too sick to talk to you. You're on your phone. And now I understand you don't want to constantly be on your phone when you're sick. I get that. I just want to sleep when I'm sick. But you best believe when I was sick, I was still showing up. I was still messaging people. Maybe not have been on the scale that it was, but I was still doing it because I know people want this business. I know people want these products. If I love these products, why wouldn't somebody else love these products? And so, getting your work done when you're sick. What does that look like to you? You wake up in the morning and you are just so sick you cannot even get out of bed. Cool. Go back to sleep. Wake up, see if you feel better. If you feel a little bit better, maybe get some work done. Maybe it's not on the scale like it was, but you get a little bit done. You just start checking off that task list. And that goes back to like the setting your alarms. If you really don't feel good, set minimal alarms for one task, like as much as you think you can handle in that time period for that task. Set that amount of time. Do only that. Be very intentional with that and see how far that gets you versus, I know I need to show up, but I'm just sick and I really don't want to do the work. Do as much as you can, but be intentional with doing as much as you can. And so basically the whole moral of like working when life just smacks you is giving yourself grace. Working through whatever is going on, whatever life is happening, working through it and giving yourself grace. I have seen people show up when they are going through the worst of the worst, but they still show up. And I bet you they gave themselves grace for the work they didn't get done or couldn't get done. That's my main point, is giving yourself grace, but still getting your work done. And whatever that looks like to you. Okay, I am done. Does anybody have questions? I'm also going to read the chat because I can't multitask. Happy birthday to your Isaiah Digit. Okay, all caught up. Does anybody have anything they want to say? If not, I'm going to go ahead and end the Zoom. Okay, bye.